on the yield. So your yield is dependent on your variety and your agronomy. So there are certain seed varieties that can give you a certain yield, and every variety comes with its needs. Like human beings, you have to eat to grow. So rice needs a lot of water. That's why Senior is talking about irrigation. It needs water. Now, rice also needs crop nutrition, which is fertilizer. On average, if you are doing the right protocol, you need about 4 bags of fertilizer per acre, right? Now, if you do this protocol right and you have your crop protection and your water levels and your seed variety is good, you can hit at least some 6 tons. Now, if you look at our Greek factor and figures, we are doing about 260,000 hectares of rice. If you got 6 tons per hectare, that should take you to about 1.5 million metric tons of paddy.
But that's actually not for a variety. The variety that the people like.
I'm coming.
The variety people like will not get you to the
I'm coming. If you look at the work CSIR and a few institutions have done based on the varieties on the market, and if you worked the agronomy right, you should be getting something right there. Now, earlier you guys asked me what I thought about the ministries, and I said Agric is just a ministry of trade, and it's no longer a function of just crop science and animal science and all those things.
Buy and sell fertilizer.
We have a lot of companies bringing in fertilizer. They are bringing in seed. They just come to trade it. We can look at the function of those companies and the need of the country to produce what we need. Why couldn't we produce enough food in 2020, 2021, and 2022? We were told there was COVID. There was the global haulage problems, and then people were practically broke. So a lot of farmers couldn't buy the inputs they needed to buy. So they just get their seed. Some of them even planted seed from their previous year's production and do their seeding, no fertilizer application. So instead of getting your 4, 5, 6 tons, this person might get 1 ton for the same field, maybe for the same water and the same labor. Now, if we look at the volumes of fertilizer we bring in, the people doing trading in the business and making money and put in place certain structures, we could farm. Now, let me give you an example. Almost all the fertilizer companies in the world have reported over 50 to 100% profits. When we are all struggling, we are saying we couldn't buy fertilizer, we couldn't do business, but they are reporting huge profits. Now, when you bring in the fertilizer, it takes me just 4 months to produce rice. So, yeah. How many months? From germination to harvesting?
4 months.
Maximum 4 months. If per the quotas we give the fertilizer companies, we say every fertilizer company should commit 10 to 20% of their fertilizer they are bringing in to verifiable outgrower schemes to fund these farmers. So we give this out to farmers as input credit at the end of the season, which is 4 months, maximum 5, 6 months. You have done your recoveries, you pay them. So farmers do not have to go and chase loans and look for money to farm. That's one of the things. So when we're talking about rice earlier, I was telling you that it's a function of money. Senor was talking about the various malls. Where do they get their funding from? It is that which determines which goes on their shelves. Because somebody is producing in their country, somebody would fund you to offtake those products to go and sell in Ghana. So their manufacturing works. So if we don't have the money, we still have the wherewithal and the capacity and opportunity to use policy to make the inputs available. We farmed 1,000 acres of rice last year.
Yeah.
It cost us then about 2,000 cedis per acre to provide inputs for our farmers. Now it's going to cost me a little over 3,000 cedis per acre. If it's the same money I'm going to turn around, I cannot do 1,000 cedis. I would have to do about 600 1,000 acres. I would have to do about 600 acres. But there are the Yaris, the OCPs, all these big fertilizer companies who bring in inputs. Now, we can use policy to get these companies to actively play in supporting farmers, whether large-scale farmers and outgrowers. Because the product lands in Ghana, 4 months we've worked with it, we do our recoveries, we pay you. Senior's mill gets to mill rice because there's a standard that the yields are there, so he gets enough rice. He gets it all year round because we'll do major season, we'll do minor season. then you won't only see Ghana rice on the market for Christmas and Easter alone. If we want to feed Ghanaians, our rice consumption is about 35 kilograms per capita. So every person eats 35 kilograms a year. Now this brings us to, let's use a flat figure, 1 million tons of rice. Do we have enough land? Yes. Do we have enough water? The water that flows on the surface of Ghana, which our government is sitting idle for people to destroy through Galamsey, is enough to serve the whole of West Africa's domestic, industrial, and agricultural needs. Over 56 billion cubic meters of water. The Volta enclave alone can do all the farming we need if we are developing those things. So we don't need money. We need smart policy, smart thinking to get some of these things working.